الحمد لله الفتاح المنان ذي الطول والفضل والإحسان الذي من علينا بالإيمان وفضل ديننا على سائر الأديان والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين ربنا يسر ولا تعسر وتمم بالخير وبك نستعين يا فتاح رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. Today when we look in society, brothers and sisters, we can redefine life and we can say that many a times we are running a rat race, as people will say, because we all have deadlines and we all have many different things to fulfill. We all have needs and wants, necessities, and we set goals. And with those goals, we have developed pathways and ways of achieving and accomplishing it. And this shows our level of productivity in any single thing that we are doing. And further, we prioritize what we should do and what we could do and what we should be doing. And when we look at a businessman, he always capitalizes on the time and the season that he is in to maximize his profit. He looks at his raw materials and find ways that he can find a better means of purchasing so that he can maximize his profits. When we look at a carpenter, when we look at someone who's building a house, we look at someone who is involved in education and studies and someone who is teaching. Likewise, we are always trying to improve ourselves and we are continuously doing something to better and improve ourselves and to maximize our remaining time in this world. The narration, inshallah, I would like to share with everyone today is a beautiful narration that Abu Hurairah radiyallahu ta'ala an, he said that the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has narrated, Inna Allah ta'ala yaqul, that certainly Allah Azza wa Jal, he says in a hadith, Allah Azza wa Jal says in this hadith, in other words, this is a hadith Qudsi whereby Allah Azza wa Jal narrates, and the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam narrates from Allah what Allah Azza wa Jal wants and has inspired him to see. He says, Ibn Adam, O mankind, every single person, every single being, every single son of Adam, tafarragh li'ibadati, exert yourself, do your best and accomplish something in your life, which is the worship of Allah Azza wa Jal. When the muadhin calls out, Hayya ala salah, Hayya ala al-falah, come to prayer, come to success, exert yourself and answer that call. When the month of Ramadan comes and that moon is sighted, the time for the Taraweeh, exert yourself. During the day you will fast, exert yourself. The time for Zakat comes, exert yourself in providing whatever it is necessary to pay your Zakat. The time for Hajj comes in your life. It is a time whereby your spiritual aspect of your life is tested and the financial aspect of your life will be tested. Exert yourself. Become exhausted in my worship. And that can be categorized as anything that brings the closeness and the ma'arifat of Allah Azza wa Jal. Anything that brings some recognition and the heart trembles and your iman increases is a form of ibadah. So Allah Azza wa Jal, he tells Ibn Adam, tafarragh li'ibadati, exert yourself in doing my worship. Why should we do like that? Amla sadaraka ghinan. O the children of Adam, if you become exhausted and tired and weary and gray in my worship, Allah promises that أَمْلَأْ صَدْرَكَ غِنًى, I will fill your hearts with contentment. I will fill your hearts with richness in your life. I will fill your hearts with independency. You will be independent from every makhluk and every created thing except Allah Azza wa Jal. Who kana wa lam yakun, he was and there was nothing before him. Your dependency will only be to Allah Azza wa Jal. And the benefits of this, brothers and sisters, the benefits of this is that on no condition will we be willing to compromise this deen. Think about it. A man or a woman compromises this deen on account of the consequences he may face after doing something. Many a times you speak to Muslims, they say, well, I could not perform Jum'ah today because my boss, he fears the consequences. He has that in his heart that I have to obey this one because I am dependent upon him. Many a times when you speak to people also, different rules and different regulations of the deen and the sharia is being compromised on account of what? We the believers, we fear the outcome of what we do if we do it. Our heart is filled with that dependency on everything besides Allah Azza wa Jal. For if we the believers were to put our trust totally to Allah Azza wa Jal and we place Him as our Mawla, our protector, our everything, and He commands us to do something, brothers and sisters, nothing on the face of the earth can prevent us. Nothing on the face of the earth. Why? He has created us. He created the heavens. He created the earth. He created the angels and all the prophets and every single thing. So when He commands us, one, we must obey. And secondly, whether we can understand the wisdom behind doing the action or not, we must do it because it is the best way of doing it. He will not tell us to kill ourselves and do this in vain and do that in vain. It is for a purpose. So when we can place our trust in Allah Azza wa Jal, we can exert ourselves and every movement that I do is for Allah. Allah will place that independency in our hearts. And something else, the narration continues. وَأَصُدُّ فَقْرَكَ, and I would shun away poverty from you, O the children of Adam. Many a times, brothers and sisters, we fear poverty because we see that with poverty, many difficulties come. It is the father or the man of the house, his responsibility to provide for his family. How depressing and how stressful is it, brothers and sisters, whereby my hands cannot earn to feed the mouth of my children who are hungry. My wife who is in need, I cannot fulfill the rights she has upon me. We fear this. We fear poverty, so we will work and we will work and we will look for some day job and we will continuously work and work and work, fearing this poverty. Brothers and sisters, together with poverty, one of the things we must make a dua for, we must fear the poverty that can cause shirk to enter into our hearts. Because this poverty comes from Allah. He has placed us in this position for a reason. Sad to say, brothers and sisters, sometimes in the rural areas, the places far off, Muslims have left and are leaving the faith of Al-Islam because of their poverty. The Christians will go towards them. They will not preach anything of their deen, but they will see that person in need and stress and distress. And they would say, listen, I have some food for you, come and eat something. What would you like for your home? I can put some galvanized and change the leaks that you have in your house. You want to get a toilet? I will fix that for you. And that poverty drives them towards loving this person. Eventually, this person tells them to disbelieve in your Creator. This person tells them, listen, come to the church and you will see what we are about. We are one love. And brothers and sisters, people leave this deen on account of their poverty. Allah promises us that I will shun away poverty from you. And poverty is a state of the mind. I've heard someone made a statement that some people are so poor that all they have is wealth. Allahu Akbar. They have no happiness. Allahu Akbar. They have no love. They have no contentment of heart. They have no family. Allahu Akbar. So Allah Azza wa Jal promises us, brothers and sisters, that He would shun away poverty from us. But the consequence to it, وَإِلَّا تَفْعَلْ, and if you do not do like that, exert yourself in my worship and being a good person, مَلَأْتُ يَدَيْكَ, and some narrations, يَدَكَ شُغْلًا, I will fill your hands, your free time, your means for living in this life with such things. شُغْلًا means occupying yourself with such things that does not bring any benefit for you in this life and for the next life. So Allah will make us occupied with so many things. How many of us can affirm to this? I do not have time for this. I cannot meet my parents because I am busy. I do not have time for my children because I am busy. I do not have time to visit the sick. My brothers and sisters who are dying and sick, I cannot visit them because I am too busy. Allah will place barakah in your time if you only and if we only exert ourselves in pleasing Him. So He places such occupancy in our lives, the rat race, as I mentioned before, that we are always busy doing this and doing that and doing this. And the older we get, the harder we work. Because the reality dawns upon us that just now that angel will be standing in front of me to take my life. I have to do more and I have to do more and I have to do more. Do not ever think in your mind that because someone has become old that their goals have changed. Their shahawat has decreased. Their desires may have changed in some way, but it still is in his heart burning to be achieved. Allah promises us, brothers and sisters, that if we just obey Him, He will give us everything. And the second thing, فَإِن لَمْ تَفْعَلْ, and if you do not do like that, I will fill your hands with such things that will occupy you that does not bring true benefit. وَلَمْ أَسُدَّ فَقَرَكَ, and I will not shun away poverty from you, because it hovers and it is right above your head that if you stop this for one instant, you will suffer. And that is the feeling and mentality that we have developed, unfortunately, in our lives, brothers and sisters. I will leave you, inshallah, with one of the treasures that we can all benefit from the treasures of Jannah. This narration from Abu Hurairah radiyallahu ta'ala an, that the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said to me, Akthir, say abundantly, min qawl, from such a statement. There's no limit to what extent can we say this dua and this supplication, this hamd and this thana. Say abundantly, brothers and sisters, La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. There is no might, there is no strength, nothing exists except Allah Azza wa Jal. فَإِنَّهَا مِنْ كَنْزِ الْجَنَّةِ, for certainly this statement is from the treasures of Jannah. Another narration, say, La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah wa la manja min Allahi illa ilayh. What is the rewards for this simple, short, sweet statement? Is it difficult to say? No. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah The Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam told Abu Huraira, some narration Makhul, he said, Allah will remove from you 70, not one, 70 of the doors of difficulties of this life. The least, listen to the least. The least of all the difficulties of these doors that will be removed, the least of them is that of poverty. The least of them is faqr and poverty. Allahu Akbar. So it is for us to contemplate and to think every single time we open our eyes, who has given us the strength, Allah Azza wa Jal. Our coming to the masjid was not on account of our own will, it is by the permission of Allah Azza wa Jal. He has selected us for a reason. And the least we can do to be appreciative, brothers and sisters, is to praise Allah, is to exert ourselves and become grey and tired and weary and exhausted in the obedience of Allah Azza wa Jal. So this message, brothers and sisters, is for us to capitalize in the moments that we have in this life. Alhamdulillah, the Jama'ah is big. There are a lot of classes, there are a lot of ilmi sessions that takes place in this masjid every single day. The Maktabun Nisa, the ladies have their sessions. The Muadhin calls out 5 times a day. The masjid is always open. It is just for us to capitalize on the moment and the time that we have in this earth, that we can do what we can do. For brothers and sisters, and I always make this statement, that one day may come that we may not be so free to practice this deen. And we have seen it in different parts of the Western Hemisphere. That people, Muslims will be oppressed. Muslims will be oppressed. They will be beaten. They will place laws upon the believers to make them frustrated to leave this deen. وَمَا نَقَمُوا مِنْهُمْ إِلَّا أَن يُؤْمِنُوا. They will not find any reason except that we believe in Allah Azza wa Jal. So let us capitalize on the moments that we have in this life. Let us exert ourselves in doing what we can do in this life. Let us use the free time, the health, everything that we have to please Allah Azza wa Jal. For He promises us that He will give us every type of goodness. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين من كل ذنب فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم.
Although I never saw His face, so beautiful, bestowed with grace, my heart just yearns to be like Him.